Now, when you decided to go to Kolar Bible School after your high school, because of a calling to Christian ministry, was it because of a calling, or was it because your father was in pastoral ministry of the Marthoma Church? And many young people always ask this question: how do I know my calling? What would you like to tell them?
Yes, from very childhood, once I came to know the Lord, uh, as far as my future is concerned, I had only two desires: to be a witness to the Lord by being a singer. I had a pretty good voice and knew music, or as a teacher in a Bible school. These were the only two possible vocations I had in mind. Then, uh, uh, then several things happened. Of course, my Christian heritage is there. My father's encouragement was there. But deep within me was what I might call a sense of call. Now, one might say, now, how do you really know it's a call from God and not a pressure from the circumstances? My only answer is there is a, there is a voice within you, and it is very clear. God telling you, this is what I want you to do. I feel there are different, as far as the calling of Christ is concerned. The first calling is to belong to Him, to be His child, to be saved. That's the first call. Second call is everyone who is called by Him is called to be a witness. Doesn't matter whether he is a pastor or evangelist or missionary or anything. Everyone who is called to witness. Because everyone who is lighted, the light must shine. There is no option.
Correct.
But there is a third type of call. That third type of call is called to a profession. Now, I believe that some Christians are called to be good engineers. Some Christians are called to be good leaders, good businessmen, uh, good politicians, good teachers, good doctors. All of these professions also, God is interested in penetrating in all of that. Army or teaching, or whatever it is, penetrate with Christian witness. This is God's desire. But some of them are called to full-time, what we call full-time Christian ministry. While everybody is called for Christian ministry and witness, some on a full-time basis. And if you don't have a call and still in the ministry, it will be very sad. It will be very disappointing. It will be very discouraging. But once you have a sense of call that this is what God wants you to do, you have a sense of direction, a sense of goal, sense of confidence, and sense of inner power to keep going. So my only answer will be to the young people who ask, how do I know? When you have that call, you will know. That is, that deep conviction is there. That's right.
I like the way that you said, be a good engineer, be a good doctor, be good at a profession. And then you also, before that, you spoke about being the light and that you cannot hide the light. It's so important that even in our work front, that whatever we do, even as a professional calling, I think we show the light of Christ by being good at what we're doing. Being committed and dedicated was what I think we should describe good as, isn't it?
Yes, I've been taking for my devotion from Colossians. If you look at towards the end of the Colossians, when there are different groups of people, like household people, husband, wife, father, children, there about the slaves,
Yeah.
Paul says at length, he tells slaves, do your work efficiently and well, not only when your masters are looking at you, even otherwise. Do it unto the Lord, as if you are doing the Lord's work. This is slaves. Slaves were treated like animals in those days. even their work, Paul would say, do it unto the Lord. This is part of what God wants. Your faithfulness in what you are up to. If that is true, how much more in the professions that we are today? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You come from a family that served the church. You were surrounded by so many family members who were dedicated and committed servants of Jesus Christ. Talk to us about these committed servants of Christ and their influence in shaping you.
You are absolutely right. I had a lot of influence of my own family on me in terms of my serious study of the word, my conduct in terms of I live worthy of Christ, and my sense of service and helping of others. Uh, my father was the eldest one of that family because he had an offer to be the headmaster of a high school, which he said no, even when that family was a poor farmer's family. And then he went to the ministry. So he became a pastor, probably because of his influence and so forth. 2 or 3 of his own siblings went into the ministry. One was this, what we call C.K. Athyal. First he went to Nepal, risking his own life, hiding the New Testament, stitching it in his pillow. That is how he even took a Bible inside, because no Christian witness was allowed there. And he became a student of the Kathmandu University and began to witness. And he established a church there, which even now continues. That was C.K. Athyal with a lot of missionary commitment. Then his younger brother became a presbyter of the Church of North India and was serving in Allahabad. Another sister became a sannyasi, and she started a church very near Trivandrum, the north of Trivandrum in Kalakuttam. And that church is a bigger church now. It is still there, started by my father's sister. So all of these and their commitment to mission and their commitment to Christ definitely must have influenced me and shaped me a lot. And my own family, for example, my wife committed her life in her college days to the Lord and wanted to be a partner to someone in Christian work. So we married, and then she studied further theology and took a Doctor of Philosophy, a PhD at Fuller Theological Seminary in USA, and she taught in some theological schools, and even now she is contributing her time and teaching in 2 seminaries here in Kerala. We have 2 children. One is Vinny, our daughter. She was the director of children's ministry in one of the big churches in the States, in Los Angeles. And now she is working toward hospital chaplaincy and wanted to serve in that way as a chaplain in the hospital for people who are dying and going through very terrible crises. My son Vidhu, I am the one, he used to say, I am the one who led him to the Lord, and he committed his life. Even though he is a full-time, very busy full-time physician in San Diego, he is one of the leaders of the youth of his church, and in his home every once in a while, on a regular basis, the young people come, and he does also outreach to the non-Christians in the universities there. So I'm glad that for our children also are very much along with their work in Christian ministry. So in a way, I have I tell you, a deep appreciation for a lot of Christians I know whose family has nothing to do with the Christian faith. One of our own servants is one like that. And she said there is such noise in her home, she cannot even read the Bible. So she used to read the Bible when she comes to her home. No, I continually am amazed at their strength, in spite of the fact that they don't have a home condition or a family condition that is conducive for encouraging them and building up their faith. But God has been very gracious to me.
Yeah. So wonderful to hear this. And talk a little more about your wife, Sakhi Thomas. She was the daughter of Thomas and Eliama. But her maternal uncle, Dr. M.M. Thomas, he's a well-known theologian, a prolific author. He was the chairman of WCC, and later on, he also became the governor of Nagaland. And I came to know that he is the one who brought you both together. What was that interaction like with Dr. M.M. Thomas?
Yes. You see, Dr. M.M. Thomas came to Princeton when I was a student there. He came to do some research for a book that he was writing about the Renaissance of India, which became his first most popular book. And there he came to know me. And he contacted his sister's husband and sister about me, and recommended that they consider me for Sakhi. That's her name is Sakhi. Sakhi in Sanskrit means exactly like Ruth in Hebrew. It means friend. So it was M.M. Thomas who, my uncle, brought us together. And for joke, I used to always blame him for that. So, yes. And, theologically, and in terms of church influence, Dr. M.M. Thomas was an amazing factor of influence. He wrote many, many books. I have checked in some libraries in Germany and England and America and so forth. At least 6 of his books are translated, and in all of these places became very influential. And as you said, he became the chairman of the WCC and all that. But theologically, both of us have divergent views. And every time we got together in the family union and all that, we had a lot of hot debates back and forth. And I know dozens and dozens of MTH, master thesis, on his theology. And I know about 12 doctorate theses, PhD theses, dissertations on it. So one time I asked, Uncle, these people who write the doctorate thesis, do they contact you, talk with you, interact with you? He said, yeah, some of them do, but I very much like to read their dissertations because I want to know what I am trying to say. Yeah, that was his response. So his theological thinking was so complex and so deep. But I have some serious questions as to how exactly it was the same focus like in the biblical. But he had certain views. He was very strong Christological. Christ was to him very, very important. But his importance of Christ was more in terms of his humanity rather than his divinity. And but he brought one dimension of Christian faith which all of us need to listen to. Yeah.